I think that is a yes. We'll call the June 7th meeting of the Lincoln Park Mayor and City Council to order. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, which will be immediately followed by the invocation by Reverend Crystal Shipling of Blessed Hope Church. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this day that we have had, the various things that have gone on. We thank you for the city that we are privileged to live in, to work in, to be neighbors to one another. I ask your blessing on this council as they sit tonight and go through their business, that they have wisdom, insight, and that you give them good direction. We pray for the family of Robert Busby, who passed this past week, a longtime resident and a very active family, and so we're grateful for the legacy that he has left. And we ask that we can be stirred up to be active in this community as well. Keep us all safe through this night. In Jesus' name, amen.
That's Jesus responding.
That was a pretty solid amen by someone. Okay. And also prayers for Crystal's husband, Gary, who will be undergoing a procedure later on this week. And our thoughts and prayers are with them as they go through this, and I'm sure everything will work out, but we're with him as he goes through and does that. So if we could have roll call, please.
Councilperson Dupre.
Here.
Higgins.
Here.
Kelsey.
Here.
Ross.
Here.
Salcido.
Here.
Tobin.
Here.
Mayor Carnes.
Here. As you can hear and see, our city clerk, Carrie Kerr, is not with us today. And in place we have our deputy clerk, Jessica Martin. So Jessica, welcome to the meeting. We had a very busy week here in the city. First and foremost, congratulations to the class of 2021. I think there were 290 went through the graduation ceremony at the high school football field. And I think that was Thursday. It was going to be Wednesday, but Wednesday got rained out, of course, and Thursday. It was still very nice, even with the social distancing and everything that was going on. Next, we had the different events last Saturday and Sunday in honor of all the veterans. I was not able to attend the ceremony on Saturday by the VFW and the American Legion, but from what I hear, it was a very nice ceremony, nice tribute to our fallen soldiers and sailors. And then the Field of Flags ceremony on Sunday was well attended, in which all 120 names that are on our war memorial were read off, and so that their names could be heard in the air once more. So it was a nice tribute weekend for our veterans. And this past weekend also, we had the Comic-Con, which I'll let those that participated take part in that. Due to my other events, I wasn't able to attend to see my good friend William there, but I guess this is the first time that they're going to be able to give back to the Lincoln Park Athletics, and it's a good amount that they're going to be giving back too. So congratulations to everyone that had anything to do with that. Very nice work. On Saturday, we, through the efforts of the Green Team at the Lincoln Park High School, that's Miss Cisnes and her group of high schoolers that were all for ecology and such, she had arranged to, for the city to get a grant for some trees at Council Point Park. And there were 21 trees, and we all went down there and we were showed how to do it, and then we were planting them in the ground. And let me tell you, there's a lot of work that goes into planting of these trees. But speaking of a lot of work and a lot of effort, our DPS supervisor Frank was down there, and there were 4 or 5 other DPS fellows that were dug right in, literally, and were helping us out with this. I mean, they prepared the holes the day before, and the trees were sitting next to that, but they were behind us with water and with mulch, and it was a hot day, and they were there probably 6-7 hours anyway, and no complaints from any of them, and they did an absolute fantastic job for us. So, John, if you're hearing this, and I guess you are, so our thank you to all your men that were down there, because they did a fabulous job. And some of these trees that were planted, I think that 5 or 6 were replacements for ones that had been purchased by families to commemorate a lost loved one or in honor of somebody else. So as we go through this process, we're going to be looking for those plaques that may be out there. And if you have a family member that was, and you did purchase a plaque, and the tree is now gone where it was, let us know where that location is. We're trying to update the list with that and make sure that there is a tree where we said originally that there would be one. So if you could give us that information. And then there, before the tree race, there was the tree planting. There was a 5K run run walk that was put on by the Lincoln Park School Educational Foundation. And I know that CERT was on site, the reserve officers and the police department, and for a warm day, everything went without a hitch. So our thanks to all those groups that made that happen. And I think that is enough of me talking for the time being. And then we will go to our consent agenda. Put that there. Oh, then you may notice that we are Zooming, and we said that we were planning to be live. The Wayne County came out with additional orders, their health department, that said that due to the pandemic, that electronic meetings could continue through June. And a meeting with the emergency operations team, just thought that it would be best to hold off and start everything fresh in July, and couple it with the opening of the buildings and such, where those vaccinated won't have to wear masks as we come up on that magic 70% vaccinated rate. So moving to the consent agenda, resolved that the following items listed in the consent agenda be approved as presented to the mayor and city council. Yeah, sorry, we had a public hearing. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't out of town, not doing this at the right time, but I am. Resolved that the following items listed on the consent agenda be approved as presented to the mayor and city council. 1, approved minutes, regular meeting held May 17, 2021. 2, approved minutes, special meeting held May 24, 2021 at 6 p.m. RE Building Department. 3, participation residential rehab loan program. 4, participation residential rehab emergency sewer repair, and 5, a trend training police department.
So move.
So support.
So that was moved by Councilwoman Dupre and supported by Councilwoman Tobin. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jessica, you have that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? Then clerk call the roll.
Councilperson Dupre,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Okay. At this point, I will call the public hearing to order at 7:41. We have, and this public hearing is to amend the 2021-22 Community Development Block Grant Budget. And we have the CDBG and Parks and Recreation Director Doreen Christian with us. So Doreen?
Good evening, everyone. I have to say we are having a second public hearing because we luckily got more money. What happened was HUD recalculated the funding everybody was getting, and we got an increase of $11,841. Due to this fact, we need to budget the additional funds received, and we're going to have a public comment period and listen to people's comments on how it should be spent today, and also there'll be a 15-day public comment period that they can send emails to myself, dchristian@citylp.com. Later on in this meeting, we were going to pass a resolution adding the additional funds into the budget, but we want to take the comments of public to get their thoughts and ideas on how that additional $11,000 should be spent. The way we're amending the budget at this time would we would be putting that into streets and utilities to help offset the cost of the Lafayette water main budget. So, Mayor, if you want to ask if anybody has any comments on how it should be spent.
I can do that. Mr. Kazan, I guess if you would unmute participants, or is there anyone that has wished to be heard on as far as where this money should be spent? Okay, well, does anyone wish to say anything about how this money should be spent as far as the CDBG program? All right, I'm not seeing anyone, Doreen. So at this point, the purpose of the hearing is over, and we will adjourn the public hearing at 7:44 p.m. and then reconvene the regular meeting, which will go to action items. Now, the first action item that we have is not on the agenda, but resolved that the mayor and council recess into closed session to discuss material not subject to disclosure, attorney-client privilege.
So move.
Support.
Okay, now going into, there's no discussion on that. City attorney, is there?
No, there's no discussion. And
Okay.
just let council notes to review a legal opinion.
It's to review a legal opinion for further information. So we have We have moved by Councilman Kelsey. Support was
Is Mr. Kazan.
Dupre? Okay. Then we would, all in favor? Oh, wait, you can't do that. No, never mind. I'm going back to my other stuff. Jessica, call the roll, please.
I changed it.
Councilperson Kelsey,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Esposito,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Carn.
Yes. Okay. So, appreciate everybody's patience as we go through this. So the first item of business is the 25th District Court budget, and it is, whereas the City of Lincoln Park is the primary funding unit of the 25th District Court, and whereas the funding unit of a district court have an obligation to fund those expenses reasonable and necessary to the court's operation, whereas the City of Lincoln Park has adopted a resolution that it will not contribute funding to retiree health care, and whereas the 25th District Court has submitted a budget, actually, I think that whereas,
Your Honor, we lost you.
Yeah.
okay, so in this, it is, I'll start again. Whereas the City of Lincoln Park is the primary funding unit of the 25th District Court, whereas the funding units of a district court have an obligation to fund those expenses reasonable and necessary to the court's operations, and it is hereby resolved that the City of Lincoln Park approves the 25th District budget in the amount of $1,729,801, with the City of Lincoln Park being responsible for 70% of this fund.
Support.
Okay, with discussion, there was a talk at the beginning where it was going through that we would be withholding a certain amount that was going to be used towards retiree health care, but that point of the court's budget is not going to be used for that, but apparently a different OPEC fund. So whereas it was going to be $24,000 or $25,000 less, this is the full amount, the $1,729,801 that has been was been requested by the 25th District Court. So further discussion?
Your Honor, if I could just make a quick comment then.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
So what we're saying is that the retiree health care is not included in this budget, although it was in 4 previous budgets. But because those are already passed, there's nothing we can do about those.
That's right.
That's what I understand.
Okay.
If Mr. Krazan, if you could mute those other than council, please.
Will do.
Mute those other than the council.
Bless you. Thank you.
John Kazoo.
Okay, it's just I was hearing extraneous comments and things that were going on. Further discussion from council? Okay, hearing none, then there's a discussion from the audience, at which point you could, anyone wishing to be heard on this resolution? I think you'll have to, I don't see anyone making an effort. Okay. So any further discussion? Then Clerk call the roll?
Councilperson Tobin,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido. Salcido,
Yes.
Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Okay, then the next item that we have is excuse me just for a second. I am okay. Next action item is, whereas the City of Lincoln Park is the primary funding unit of the 25th District Court, and whereas the 25th District Court Management Agreement establishes that the City of Lincoln Park shall establish and maintain and a 25th District Court Fund with which to pay court expenses. And whereas since March 1, 2016, the court has administered all non-payroll expenditures and the city has pre-funded such expenditures. And whereas since fiscal year 2015-16, the court has not submitted audited financial statements. And whereas the city has a fiduciary responsibility to ensure taxpayers' funds are spent properly, and it is hereby resolved that the City of Lincoln Park will no longer pre-fund court expenditures and will only provide its share of funding for those expenses incurred on a monthly basis that are deemed reasonable and necessary. And it's further resolved that the reimbursement program shall continue until such time as the 25th District Court submits up-to-date audited financial statements or the court relinquishes control of expenditures.
Support.
Okay, and mover was Councilwoman Ross?
Yes.
Okay, and support was Councilman Higgins?
Correct.
Okay, I'm just helping Jessica out so we got this the right way. All right, is there discussion? Mr. Grzan, you want to lead off on this?
Yeah, what we're just trying to do is, it's been quite some time since there's been a financial audit of the court's expenditures. And with us providing 70% of the funding, we're just trying to ensure that 70% of the funding is going where it's being told. It's not that we think there's anything going on, we just don't know. And so what we're looking at doing is setting this up similar to you would with any grant program you see with the state. And that's just where we're going with this, to try and get back where we've got up-to-date audits, and we know the money's going where it's supposed to go.
It originally was in the city's purview to do this, and it was during the time of the emergency manager that it was transitioned over to the court. So, and it's what the agreement calls for, so I'm in favor of it anyway. So, further discussion?
Yes, Chair, I have a quick question.
Council President, go ahead.
There's only question, has anyone ever answered why they've never
Breaking up.
You're breaking up real bad, Carlos.
All right, sorry about that.
So,
Has anyone from the court mentioned why there hasn't been an audit done in a couple of years?
I'm gonna warm it up for you.
Or am I still unhearable?
no, you were heard. The question was if there is a reason why the budget wasn't done, not the budget, the audit wasn't done for those period of time. I don't, Lisa, would you have information on that? You're muted, Lisa, I'm sorry. James, oh, there you go, thank you.
Sorry about that. I can't speak directly to why it hasn't been done. I know
our standards are we have to have ours completed and submitted to the state within 6 months of the end of the fiscal year. The last correspondence I have from their audit firm requesting any information was on January 20th, and that information was sent on the 22nd of January. So I'm not aware of anything outstanding or what the reason is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, yes, go ahead, Ben.
Any idea if we're fined in any way for them being late?
The city directly will not be. We've done, everything. All of our audits are always filed on time. The court obviously has, they don't follow the same procedures as us. James and I have tried to look and see what could happen, but we haven't been able to, unless James, you found something I'm unaware of.
No, I haven't.
An audit is just another pair of eyes to take a look and make sure that, and give the stamp that everything's being done the right way. That's all. And it's just not, there's no allegation that there's things that are being done incorrectly, but you need to have somebody else take a look at it. And it's been several years, so it needs to be done.
Look, money's no object.
Just a quick comment, Your Honor.
No, just go ahead. Take all the time you want.
Okay. I just want to say, I think I like this new or the way we're looking to do it. It's a good system of checks and balances. I think the what's the word, lack of there's been a lack of oversight because we don't have the audits. And like you said, it's not that we're saying that anything is wrong, but having another set of eyes on it is always good.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything further from council?
Yes, to the chair, if I may, Your Honor.
Yes, go ahead.
2 comments. Based upon this resolution, reasonable and necessary, those are very ambiguous words. Reasonable and necessary to me is a lot different than reasonable and necessary to somebody else. Who defines reasonable and necessary? Is that us? Or when the court submits something that, what is reasonable? I mean, obviously, I've dealt with budgets, Your Honor, you've dealt with budgets, Lisa has, I understand, but, you pay electricity bills, you pay for gas, you pay for, what is considered to be necessary? It's kind of funny, necessary and reasonable. I don't understand that. I mean, can somebody define, I guess, James, can you elaborate on that?
So the phrase reasonable and necessary comes out of actual, it sounds like case law. The city's responsible for funding those costs that are what they call reasonable and necessary to operate the court. Would we assume that, and this is an absolute ridiculous speculation, but would we assume that a helicopter pad is reasonable and necessary? No, we wouldn't. But is, 20 boxes of paper reasonable and necessary? Absolutely. So eventually, if there ever became a dispute, that's what would be disputed. Right. What is reasonable and necessary?
Thank you. My last question for the mayor and James Grzan. On the council, I've been on for a while and off, but I've never had anybody report to the council what the court council has done or not done until we got into this disagreement about the funding. So I would really appreciate, as a legislative person and part of the council, that the mayor, you're the rep, and so is James Grzan every month, that you report to the council when we have these problems, like the audit's not being done, or because looking back, there was some decisions, or if you want to call them, misunderstandings or whatever going on for quite a long time, and I never was aware of it as the legislative person for the city until it became an issue, and then we're drawn into it, and specifically me, to make decisions based upon stuff that happened way in the past that I can't correct. So my comment only is I would expect my 2 reps, and that's no disrespect to either one, I'm not saying it that way, but I'd like to have some conversation at the monthly council meeting, pick whatever time you want, to give us a report of what's going on at the meetings at the council for the court. And that's all, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right, and not to, because it's not James that is the rep, he attends it from time to time. The rep is me, and I'll take that and provide better communication with council as we move forward. Further,
Through the chair, that wasn't meant, I was just saying we
No,
all
no.
get busy. I'm
No.
just saying,
no, it's
that's all.
It's point taken, sir. I could have shared a little bit more information in that fashion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate
Is
it.
there further discussion from council? Okay, I'm not hearing. Is anyone in the audience that would like to be heard?
Yes, Chief Judge Greg Clifton would like to speak.
Okay, Your Honor. You're limited to 3 minutes, so for discussion on a resolution.
All right. So the court will acknowledge that the audits need to be brought up to date. No question about that. There was a question asked earlier as to why. I think it's a combined reasons of the court was late in getting information to the auditor. We also switched to a new auditor, so there was a transition there. The City of Lincoln Park was late through January of getting information. COVID has been a significant impact. The auditor has been working from home, so it's been a lot more difficult to try to get everything together. But I have been pushing, and I have been told that the audit should be done within the next, we should be up to date within the next 30 to 45 days maximum. So with that said, I concur and I appreciate what was said earlier that there is nothing to indicate that the court has misused or misspent any money, but yes, we need to have that accountability and we will provide it. But I'd like to say historically that, 25th District Court has always paid certain of its expenses directly. For example, contract salaries, visiting judges' salaries, court reporters, court-appointed fees, etc. Prior to 2013-14, Lincoln Park paid invoices for like telephone, gas, electric, water, office supplies. Around that time, after the consolidation, it was agreed that the court would take on more of those responsibilities to ease some of the burden of Lincoln Park of having to take care of those. In addition, it made it more efficient because instead of the court receiving an invoice and then sending it to Lincoln Park and then having to go through the process of getting paid, it was getting paid directly, which resulted in more timely and efficient payment, no late fees. For example, at one point, the court lost its telephone service because that telephone bill was not paid by mistake by Lincoln Park. So it's been a lot more efficient, and if you look at our history of our budget, we've not increased any of those operational expenses over the last 4 years. We've been very responsible. And in regard to the court management agreement, it doesn't say that Lincoln Park is solely responsible for paying those. It says that the 25th District Court and the City of Lincoln Park funding unit shall administer the 25th District Court fund. So it's a combined effort, not just Lincoln Park. So I would respectfully ask that that the court continue to be allowed to pay the operational expenses as it has been doing for the last 4 or 5 years. Once the audit is provided, if the city council thinks there's some reason at that point to take more operational control over what the court has to pay for, then I think that would be an appropriate time to take that up. So thank you very much.
Judge Clifton, though, is the audit that we're talking about will just bring us to 2017, though, right? We won't be up to date for the 17,
No,
18.
I have all the audits up to date within the next maximum 45 days. I will have the 17, 18 within the end of this week. And the remaining audits are going to come very quickly after that.
Okay, very good. Further discussion, anyone else from the audience wish to be heard on this specific resolution? All right, hearing none, then...
Did I add one more thing, Mayor? I apologize.
Your Honor, the time has passed for comments here.
Fair enough.
If you can, Jessica, if you would call the roll, please.
Councilperson Ross,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Okay. And moving on to the next item that we have is not that one. Okay, so we have proposed resolution, which will be for our fiscal year 2021-22 budget. Quick question, Lisa, is this entire thing need to be read?
I do not believe so. I believe that usually you would read the total, the general fund revenue total, and then the total expenditure. However, we will need to make a change to that based on the previous resolution changing. You know, that would have been a good question for Carrie. I know there was a way to shorten up how it was read, I just don't recall exactly. I know Donna usually kind of led the way on that too.
Well,
You don't have to read it all.
yep. To be on the safe side here, what needs to be amended in the expenditures?
Okay, so Jessica, on the, so there were two resolutions presented to you. We're scratching the second one.
Okay.
So the first one where the total expenditures was 24,603,759.
Okay.
Yeah, section 2 expenditures. So the district court amount needs to change to 1,210,860. That's the 70%.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's aware. And then the total expenditures is 24,621,959.
Okay. So we're going to go through this City of Lincoln Park General and Special Appropriations Act. A resolution to provide for adoption of a budget proposed by Mayor and Council contains estimates of proposed revenue expenditures for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30, 2022, and millage rates to support the budget. Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Lincoln Park, Section 1, that the expenditures of the city government its activities for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30, 2022, the amount as follows, which is, or Section 2, that the fiscal year therein is hereby appropriated out of the general fund on an activity basis the following: revenues, property taxes, $11,636,446. Federal sources, $169,600. State sources, $5,178,763. Licenses and permits, $1,199,454. Fines and forfeits, $3,307,995. Interest and rents, $103,932. Transfer from fund balance, 0. Other, $3,042,752. Total revenues, $24,638,942. $24,638,942. Expenditures, Mayor and Council, $64,769. Clerk, $145,153. City Management, $350,560. Elections, $70,611. City Attorney, $240,000. Finance, $300,000. $1,838. Treasurer, $152,168. Building and Grounds, $603,925. Police, $9,516,310. Fire, $526,543. Building, $852,210. Emergency Management, $22,500. Animal Shelter, $106,247. Department of Public Service, $5,647. Tree lighting, $573,000. Social Services, $170,000. Parks and Forestry, $111,847. Recreation, $232,527. Community Center, $361,193. District Court, $1,210,860. District Court City Pension Obligation, $388,690. Planning Commission, $66,675. General Government, $3,837,673. Total expenditures, $24,621,959. Net of revenues and appropriations contributed to fund balance, 35,183 negative. Looks total in the general fund. Will that total need to be redone?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's now, or do you want me just to bring those to Jessica tomorrow? Because you've read the total revenues and expenditures.
Yes, and then bring that to Jessica tomorrow, and then we will look at, I'm into it, might as well. Section 3, that for the fiscal year here, there is hereby appropriated out of the major street funds on an activity basis the following: revenues, state shared revenues, $3,304,184. Total revenues, $3,304,184. Expenditures, routine maintenance, $960,211. Traffic services, $102,967. Winter maintenance, $272,278. Transfer to local streets, $950,000. Capital improvements to roads, $750,000. Total expenditures, $3,035,456. Contributed to fund balance, $268,728. Total major roads, $3,304,184. Section 4, that for the fiscal year, there is hereby appropriated out of the local streets funds on an activity basis the following: the revenues, state shared revenues, $1,151,590. Transfer in major street funds, $950,000. Transfer in DDA, $35,000. Total revenues, $2,136,590. Expenditures, routine maintenance, $981,852. Transfer traffic services, $71,217. Winter maintenance, $333,035. Capital improvement to roads, $730,000. Total expenditures, $2,116,104. Contribution to fund balance, $20,486. Total local roads, $2,136,590. Section 5, that for the said fiscal year, there is hereby appropriated out of cable TV fund on an activity basis the following: cable TV revenue, $121,680. Cable TV expenditures, $113,917. Section 6, that for the fiscal year, there is hereby appropriated out of the sanitation fund on an activity basis the following: sanitation revenues, $2,941,613. Sanitation expenditures, $2,941,613. Section 7, that for the fiscal year, there is hereby appropriated out of the drug forfeiture on an activity basis the following: drug/forfeiture revenues, $105,000. Drug/forfeiture expenditures, $432,505. Section 8, that for the fiscal year, there is hereby appropriated out of the library fund on an activity basis the following: library revenues, $439,056. Library expenditures, $373,604. Section 8, That for the fiscal year is appropriated out of the capital improvement fund on activity basis the following: capital improvement fund revenues, $50,000. Capital improvement fund expenditures, $50,000. Section 10, that for said fiscal year, there's hereby appropriated out of the water and sewer capital fund on an activity basis the following: water and sewer capital revenues, $2,033,000. Water and sewer capital expenditures, $2,033,000. Section 11, that for the said fiscal year is hereby appropriated out of the water and sewer fund on an activity basis the following: water sewer revenues, $14,598,385. Water and sewer expenditures, $14,141,172. That for the fiscal year, there is hereby appropriated, this is section 12, on the fleet management fund on an activity basis the following: fleet management revenues, $938,500. Fleet management expenditures, $1,297,741. Section 13, that for said fiscal year, there is hereby appropriated out of the technological service fund on an activity basis the following: technological services revenues, $183,828. Technological services expenditures, $263,762. Section 4, that said for fiscal year, there's hereby appropriated out of the economic development fund on an activity basis the following: economic development corporation revenue, $22,904. Economic Development Corporation expenditures, $204,664. Section 15, that for said fiscal year, there is hereby appropriated out of the Downtown Development Authority Fund on an activity basis the following: Downtown Development Authority revenues, $316,000. Downtown Development Authority expenditures, $774,337. This article is intended to preserve all existing charges and fees as set forth in any resolution, ordinance, law which is not in conflict with this article to the fulfillment of the requirement of any ordinance authorizing the City Council to establish fees by resolution. Fees for public records not set forth in this article or an order, resolution, ordinance, or law shall be set by the city manager with concurrence of the City Council in accordance with Act 442, Public Act 1976 as amended. Fees for public services not specifically set forth in this article or in any other resolution, ordinance, or law may be established by the city manager, who shall promptly notify City Council in writing of each of them. The city manager shall establish fees for public services based on the cost of providing the public service. The city manager is hereby authorized to make transfers within the budget centers established in this resolution, but all transfers between budgetary centers, contingencies, reserves, and fund balances shall be made only by further action of City Council pursuant to law. The city manager is hereby authorized to release bidding documents for those capital items and recurrent commodities expressly authorized with appropriations in this resolution for public review by the City Council following receipt of bids. The mayor and City Council directs the treasurer to add 1% penalty per month to all taxes, charges, assessments paid, and further, upon all city taxes, charges, and assessments returned to the county treasurer, upon any delinquent tax roll, a charge of 3% shall be added, and the same shall be collected by the county treasurer in like manner as together with the taxes, charges, and assessments so returned. Section 16, be it further resolved that the following millage rate be provided by charter or statute be assessed. Operating millage 18.8002, library millage 0.5938. These are the estimated millage rates at the time of the preliminary budget preparation. The final acquisition numbers have not been compiled, so actual millage rates are yet to be determined.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, then we go into discussion.
Your Honor,
Yes, go ahead.
if Lisa wouldn't mind explaining the water and sewer rate issue. I know I confused myself with it earlier, so I think the more that we hear it, it'll help us and the residents.
Absolutely. And it's hard sometimes to put that in writing. I hope I didn't confuse you more with that.
We have Lisa Griggs, our finance director. So Lisa, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So typically, the mayor and council adopts the water and sewer rates and sanitation rates with the budget, and they go into effect July 1st each year. This year, with all of the uncertainty of the federal funds we were getting for the American Rescue Plan, we do finally have the final amount we're getting, but there's still it has to be determined how that money is going to be spent, how much is going to be designated towards water and sewer for those capital items that are needed. If any of those funds that are included in the water and sewer budget can offset some of the rate increase. As you recall, the rate study that was done proposed a 25% rate increase. So we're hoping to offset some of that, the majority of that rate increase by using those federal funds. So until the amount is determined, we can't set the water and sewer rates. So the budget is set for the water and sewer fund. We know how much we need to expend for the year. Therefore, we know how much revenue we need to capture. So that's why the proposed budget that was presented to you included 25% rate increase based on those requested capital items in the normal operation and maintenance budget. But we don't know directly how much of that is coming from the rates and how much is coming from the federal funds. But we do know that's the revenue we need to generate for the year. So there's no change to the budget. It's just simply a matter of where those funds are going to come from. So we will be adopting the rates. It's just not with this budget. It'll be a separate resolution. And if by chance we need to change the water and sewer budget at all, we can do it at that time as well.
Okay, thank you. I have another question though.
Yes, go ahead.
So we'll have help because of the federal funds for this year. But next year, that'll be all us, right?
Well, not necessarily. We're getting the payments, so we're getting the recall the exact amount, the $19 million. And so however much of that is designated for the water and sewer fund, we were funded 50% of the money this year, and then we'll get the other 50% in 12 months, I believe it is. So we'll have additional funds for the next year. The funds don't have to be fully spent. I think it's 2024 is when the expiration date is on that. So we have to have them spent by then. So it's just going to depend on how much we designate, whether we do so much this year, over the next couple of years, because obviously that's a lot of money to spend in 1 year. Can be done, I'm sure, but with having to plan capital projects, it takes time. You have to bid them out and go through all the procedures. So
yes,
we don't spend it all.
And then, but Lisa, before any decision is made, there'll be study sessions, and so that the council is aware, no money is going to be spent unless there is agreement from council on that, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Actually receive our first payment. So we have the first half of the money just sitting in the bank right now. It's just not designated for anything at this point. So we do need to determine that fairly soon, how that's going to be spent.
Yes, but no decisions have been made yet.
Nope.
And that there will be further discussions, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I just like the help with the 25% rate increase, because that can be pretty hefty, especially when your water bill is over $200.
That would hit many people hard. There's no question about that.
Thank you, Lisa.
Is that all, Councilwomen?
Yes, that's all you want.
Okay. Anything else further from council? Okay. Any further discussion? All right, then Jessica, call the roll.
Councilperson Ross?
Yes.
Higgins?
Yes.
Dupre? Yes. Kelsey?
Yes.
Salcido? Council President Salcido?
Can you hear me? Yes.
Tobin?
Yes.
Mayor Carnes?
Yes. All right.
Mayor froze a little minute ago.
Yes. Okay. Am I still active, or did it go out on us here?
Good.
Oh, okay. So our next item has a cover letter from Doreen Christian, Director of Community Planning and Development, Parks and Recreation. On Friday, May 14, 2021, we were informed by HUD that our allocation for the 2021-22 budget was increased from $803,592,000 to $815,453. This It's an increase of $11,843, and it was discussed earlier at the public hearing, so I don't think that we need to go further. Whereas, since issuing the original fiscal year 2021 allocation letters, HUD has discovered an error in the formula calculations for the Community Development Block Grant Program, which resulted in an increase of our funding by $11,841. Therefore, be it resolved that the following previously adopted CDBG budget is hereby revised for the 47th program year of the Community Development Block Grant Program beginning July 1, 2021. Administration and Planning, $157,504. Public Services, Crime Awareness Program, $10,000. First Step Domestic Violence, $10,000. The Guidance Center, $5,000. The Senior Alliance, $3,201. Infrastructure Projects, Commercial Building Rental Rehab, $20,000. Residential Rehab, $0. Then there's an asterisk, which the asterisk says, plus projected rehab revolving fund income of $60,000. Streets and Utilities, $597,728. Other, Code Enforcement, Police Department, $12,000, for a total of $815,433.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, discussion? All right, Jessica, did you get the mover and supporter?
Yes.
Okay, then call the roll, please.
Councilperson Tobin,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Mayor Carnes.
Yes. All right, our next item also has a cover letter from Doreen Christian, the Community Planning and Development, Parks and Recreation. Purpose is to authorize mayor to sign the Wayne County Home Interlocal Agreement for 2022 through 2024 and appoint Doreen Christian, Community Development Director, as her designee representative, and James Krazan, City Manager, as the alternate designee. On October 19, 2020, a resolution was adopted for the city to continue to participate in Wayne County Home Consortium. Since that time, Wayne County was notified by HUD that the dates of the interlocal agreement are not correct. HUD also wants the agreement to run consecutive to the 5-year plans. In order for this to happen, we have to execute a new Wayne County Home Consortium agreement, which will run from July 1, 2022 through June 30, 2024. After that time, there will be an automatic renewal provision in the interlocal agreement. So the resolution is, whereas it is the desire of the City of Lincoln Park to continue participation in the Wayne County Home Consortium for the term of July 1, 2022, and end on June 30, 2024, and execute said agreement. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor of the City of Lincoln Park is hereby authorized as the proper authority to sign the Wayne County Home Consortium Agreement and any other necessary documents to ensure the city's participation in said home consortium, including all subsequent subrecipient agreements. Be it further resolved that Doreen P. Christian, Community Development Director, is hereby appointed as a home consortium designee representative, and James Krazan, City Manager, as the alternate designee.
Support.
Okay. Just any discussion? All right, clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Higgins,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Okay, next item has a cover letter from John Kazula, Director of Department of Public Services. In background, the City of Lincoln Park Department of Public Services run out to bid for and received 3 bids for tree removal services. All right, we have 3 bids. Our limb walkers for a trimming total of, let's see, $660. And then for removal of stump and grinding, so the grand total would be $3,185. CHOP, which is the other company, their grand total was $4,760. And then TNT, whose grand total was $4,860. So, be it resolved that the mayor and city council hereby award the bid for tree removal services for 2 years to Lim Walker's Tree and Snow, 10073 Bryce Road, Acova, Michigan, 48006, with funds to be taken from account 203-464-818000 and/or 202-464-818000. Be it further resolved that mayor and city council authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign any all pertinent contract documents.
So moved. One question.
Okay, go ahead.
I just question that the company's quite a ways away. Are we sure they have trucks in this area? Is that going to be an issue?
John Kazoo?
Muted.
Can you hear me now?
We got you now.
John Kazoo. Excellent question. Lim Walker is approximately an hour and 22 minutes away from the city of Lincoln Park. The second low red was from Grand Rapids, which was over a 3-hour travel time. And the third one is TNT, and they're located in Belleville, which I'm going to speculate is 15 or 20 minutes away. I met with Lim Walker, and they brought to the table the excitement. They had informed me that they just executed a 3-year contract with the city of Dearborn for basically the same services. And with that being said, they're in process of looking for a satellite office or a satellite yard. And I know Dearborn has offered them the usage of their DPS yard. And if I can get the present wood material out of my or our DPS yard, I would probably offer them the same opportunity. Right now, also, they've got 4 crew members that are either in Dearborn, live in either Dearborn or Dearborn Heights, and they've assured us under an emergency, they can come into the city in approximately 1 hour time. The contract says that they have to be on site within 4 hours. That's why I went ahead and made that recommendation to utilize Lim Walker.
Thank you.
With them handling Dearborn, if we get bad weather, then Dearborn's pretty much going to have bad weather too. Are they going to be able to handle both the communities in an emergency?
They're telling us, yes, that they would then bring, I'm going to call it their more northern crews down to accommodate both. But that also is a very good question. TNT has the same contract with the city of Allen Park and with the city of Southgate. And I would assume that those other communities would also have the same emergency situations. So I think when it comes down to an emergency in our area, everybody's utilizing pretty much the same staff or the same equipment. I still would recommend Lim Walker from the conversation I've had with them.
Oh, I understand. It's just Dearborn's a much larger city and may demand more for their buck. But if they say that they're going to be here, then we'll go with what was said. Further discussion or questions for Mr. Kazoo?
Through the chair,
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Mr. Kazoo,
Yes.
did you get any references? Did you call anyone? I'm just curious.
I did. I talked to Bay City, and I also talked to Traverse City. And they've utilized them, and of course, both of those communities are a little distance from their home site.
Right.
One thing that I was pretty impressed with, and I don't know if it'll impress anybody else, but the time that I've been here with the city, they've utilized one tree contractor. And we've always provided this tree contractor with a removal list and also a trim list. And we've always nurtured our way through those, even sometimes kind of tough. What they told us is they would prefer if we've got these lists, removal lists, and a trim list, that we just give them both lists and they would come in town, stay here until they completed both lists. And then after that, if we come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removals or a handful of trims, provide those lists and they would come back. Meaning that they would be here until they finished out both lists, and then after that, as others came in, they would also come in.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Through the chair,
That's what I was going to say. Council President, go ahead.
actually, Mr. Kazoo just answered my question. My question was going to be, did they see the list, the trim list, and the cut down list? So obviously you covered your bases on there, and I look forward to seeing some trees trimmed here in the near future. Thank you.
Anything further from council?
Yeah, John, through the chair. John, could you explain how many people didn't bid on this job? Like Davy Tree and all them?
No, actually, unfortunately, there were only 3 that bid on this work.
Yeah.
I did check around, and the 3 that bid on it, TNT was probably the closest out of Belleville, and you saw one is out of Grand Rapids, one is up by Port Huron. I did check around with some of the others, and like Davies Tree and some of these other trees have got a contract with DTE. DTE's throughout southeastern Michigan is going out and doing a lot of trim work. There's another one that I have used, and in talking to him, that particular company, he said that he couldn't even look at taking on any more work for another 2.5 years. So right now, it's apparent to me that these tree companies are very, very, very busy.
Thank you, John. I just wanted you to share that with everybody. Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Kearns.
Yes. Next, we have another item also from our Department of Public Services Director, John Kazoo. City of Lincoln Park, Department of Public Services recently went out to bid for and received 2 bids for removal and replacement of the air conditioning unit at the retention basin. So be it resolved, well, let's go through the, so the 2021 retention basin air conditioning unit tabulation, Flow Air came in at $9,167. Allied Building Services came in at $8,910. So be it resolved that the mayor and city council hereby award the bid for Allied Building Services Company of Detroit Incorporated, 1801 Howard Street, Detroit, Mich., 48216, with funds to be taken from retention basin improvement account number 420-001-98300 WS03. Further be it resolved that this work will be completed through a purchase order process.
I'll
I'll move.
I'll support.
Okay. So we have Councilwoman Ross seconded by Higgins. Is that what you got? Jessica? Or
Sort of.
okay. Well, then go with what you have. I'm just. All right. Is there further any discussion with this? All right.
Just a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
I mean, has Allied Building Service ever done work for us?
Yes, sir, they have.
Yes?
If I may, Allied Services did the gun range at the police department approximately a year and a quarter ago.
Thank you very much.
And you were satisfied with their work, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any further Further discussion? Okay, clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Ross,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Lucido,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Next item has a cover letter from Community Plan and Development, Parks and Recreation Director Doreen Christian. The mayor and council authorized going out to bid on May 3rd, 2021, and this is to enter into contract. It's community center renovations. So the bid documents were open on May 19th with 4 bids received. Tel Systems, $6,421. Third Cost Tech, $7,855.97. KAB Enterprises Incorporated, $9,904.50. Action Security Alarm Systems, $11,135.66. Tel Systems was the lowest bidder, and they do not appear on the excluded party listing of the federal government. So resolved that Tel Systems be awarded the bid for the Security Center audio system with a price not to exceed $6,421, as they are the lowest and best bidder that meets all specifications. Be it further resolved that the mayor and city clerk are authorized to execute documents necessary to accomplish this work. Funds to come from CDBG account number 249-042-755201.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? All right, clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilperson Higgins,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Lucido,
Yes.
Tobin. Councilperson Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Okay, the next item that we have is a cover letter from, once again, Doreen Christian, Community Planning Development and Parks and Recreation. And the purpose to enter in contract with RVP Construction to complete the Lafayette Water Main relocation project. In background, the mayor and city council authorized Hennessy engineers to prepare, design, provide engineering specifications with bid documents and solicited bids on January 4, 2021. The bids were open on Wednesday, May 19, 2021, with RVP Construction as the lowest bidder. They do not appear on any of the excluded party listings of the federal government. As a portion of this project will be paid from the CDBG funds that will not be available until July 2021. This project will be awarded in 2 separate contracts. Contract 1 with City Water Funds, the amount of $503,272, and Contract 2 with CDBG Funds, the amount of $596,728. Now, the 2 bidders in this, before we go into the resolution, were RVP Construction Incorporated at $999,452.50 and RJ&J Enterprises Incorporated $1,059,346. So the resolution is resolved that RVP Construction Incorporated be awarded the bid for the Lafayette Water Main relocation project in the amount of $1,100,000, which includes the 10% contingency, as they are the lowest best bidder that meets all specifications. A 10% retention of the project cost shall be held to verify completion pursuant to the contract. Be it further resolved that the mayor and city clerk are authorized to execute documents necessary to accomplish this work. Funds to come from Water Department Capital Improvement Account number 4210-001-983000 in the amount of $503,272, and CDBG Streets and Utilities Account number 249-047-75519 in the amount of $596,728.
So moved.
Support.
All right, discussion? All right, then clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Higgins,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Lucido,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Our next item also is from Doreen Christian. And in background, the mayor and council authorized Hennessy Engineers to prepare, design, provide engineering specifications with bid documents and to solicit bids on February 1, 2021. And the bids were open on Wednesday, May 19, 21, sorry. And the bidders were GV Cement Contracting Company, $365,589. Mark Anthony Contracting Incorporated, $384,815.47. Great Lakes Contracting Solutions, $405,173.80. Dominic Gaglio Construction, $441,301. Resolved that GV Cement Contracting Company be awarded the bid for the 2021 CDBG concrete program in the amount of $402,150, which includes a 10% contingency fee as they're the lowest best bidder that meets all specifications. A 10% retention of the project cost shall be held to verify completion pursuant to the contract. Be it further resolved that the mayor and city clerk are authorized to execute documents necessary to accomplish this work. Funds to come from CDBG Streets and Utilities account number 249-046-75519. Okay, and we have discussion. All right, clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Higgins?
Yes.
Roth?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Tobin?
Yes.
Mayor Carnes?
Yes. Okay, next item also from Doreen P. Christian, Director, Community Planning, Development, Parks and Recreation. In background, Hennessy Engineers provided the bid specifications for the Lafayette Water Main Relocation Project, which is up for award. To assist in completion of the project, Hennessy Engineers has provided a proposal for oversight and construction services based on the established rates with our general engineering services contract at a cost not to exceed $88,400. In the cost breakdown, it has construction inspection 50 days at $528 per day, $26,400. Construction, staking, and layout, $15,000. Construction, QA, QC testing, $15,500. Construction administration, $17,000, and as-builts for $15,000. So whereas Hennessy Engineers provided the bid specifications for the Lafayette Water Main Relocation Project, which went out to be and was awarded, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council hereby award Hennessy Engineers Incorporated the construction services and oversight on the Lafayette Water Main Relocation Project as submitted for a sum not to exceed $88,400, with funds coming from CDBG account number 249-047-75519 Streets and Utilities and Water Department Capital Improvement account number 4210-001-983000.
So moved.
Support.
Okay. Do we have discussion on this?
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I guess it applies to the whole project. I was just curious how long the project itself is supposed to take.
Doreen or John, can you, I think we have James Hollingsworth here also. Who would best answer?
Yeah, I can address that. This is Jim Hollingsworth.
Okay,
yeah, the
sir.
contract bid 50 days for the project on this particular project. So, it'll depend on how many days, assuming that they work 6 days a week. So you're looking probably 6 to 8 weeks is what I would figure on.
Okay. I was curious. Thank you.
Yeah, yep, for sure. Thank you.
Okay, further discussion? Clerk, call the roll. My computer may have froze. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Higgins?
Yes.
Tobin?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Mayor Kearns.
Yes. Okay, and accompanying to that, whereas Hennessy Engineers provided the bid specifications for the 2021 CDBG concrete program that went out to bid and was awarded, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council hereby award Hennessy Engineers Incorporated the construction services and oversight on the 2021 CDBG concrete program is submitted for a sum not to exceed $34,866, with funds coming from CDBG account number 249-046-75519, Streets and Utilities.
So move.
Support.
Okay. Do we have discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Higgins,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Kearns.
Yes. Next item we have is resolved that special event permit number 4 be approved for the 2021 Cruising Downriver event to be held in the City of Lincoln Park on June 26, 2021, from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. for the Mustang Owners Club of Southeastern Michigan, utilizing Memorial Park under the following conditions. Vehicle parking will only be allowed on the grass along Merrill Street. No vehicles shall be parked along the Fort Street frontage. Application filed, fees paid, pending proof of insurance.
So moved.
Support.
Okay. Do we have discussion? All right, clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Kelsey,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Kearns.
Yes. Okay, now we're going, our next item has a check that was released to Blue Cross so it was, because it had to be paid for due date. So that'll be the first item that is listed. Resolved that the accounts and claims payable for those items greater than $25,000 be approved as follows. Blue Cross Blue Shield, June 2021, Retiree Med Event Plan, Retirees and Actives, $203,933.54. District Court, June 2021 payment, $49,255.17. GV Cement 2021 concrete reconstruction payments 1 and 2, $80,504.28. GFL Environmental June 2021 residential curbside recycling and city dumpsters $198,867.74. Great Lakes Contracting 2021 concrete utility repairs $221,762.95. GLWA April 21 water billing $195,265.97. Hennessy Engineers Incorporated, General Consulting, Plan Reviews and Construction Management, Retention Basin Letter, DPS Roof Replacement, River's Edge Apartments, River Drive Reconstruction, City Hall HVAC and electrical repairs, SRF Sewer Rehab Program, 2020 Concrete Recon, Utility Pavement Replacement, Lafayette Water Main Relocation, 2021 Sanitary Sewer Lining, Concrete Section, Utility Pavement Repairs, Asphalt Resurfacing, CDBG Concrete Street, $118,642.62. Hutch Paving, 2021 Asphalt Resurfacing, $430,340.67. McKenna, April 2021 Building Department Services Permits, $71,830.80. State of Michigan, MDOT River Drive Reconstruction, $336,500.54. City of Riverview, April 2021 Dumping Service, $36,201.51. Water Tap Incorporated, Lafayette, Maine Relocation, $113,192.
I'm sorry, I'll move.
Support.
Okay. Mover and supporter, do we have discussion? All right, hearing none, the clerk call the roll.
Councilperson Ross,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Salcedo,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Carnes.
Yes. So we've reached the time for our city manager's report. Mr. Kazan?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Before I begin, I want to do a quick acknowledgement of Finance Director Lisa Griggs and our whole staff and team in the Finance Department for putting together a budget under what has been very difficult circumstances. A lot of changes have gone on over the last couple months as we've tried to get into the budget, and there's been a lot of having to adapt quickly, and they've done a fantastic job. So I want to just take a moment to acknowledge that. Also, on the general subject, we mentioned earlier that before we make any decisions with regard to the American Recovery Plan Act funding, we're going to do a study session. I had originally was thinking we'd try and do a study session this month in June before the second meeting. We already have a public hearing scheduled for that night, so we'll probably bring a resolution at that meeting to schedule one for the first meeting in July. That'll give us a little extra time to prepare as we continue to get more information about it anyway. So another thing I want to mention, talked with GFL today. They've been having a significant amount of issues. As we all know, we all hear the complaints about missed pickups and everything. Generally speaking, I'm being told they have 7 to 10 missed pickups a day. Seems to be on the higher side right now, and a lot of that is due to staffing. For example, today they had, I think, 13 out of their 35 drivers call in, so they're operating at 2/3 staff. So I do know there was a large section of town that was going to be missed. We tried to get some information out there on Facebook, but for those watching, those listening, if your stuff wasn't picked up, leave it out there. Hopefully it'll get picked up tomorrow. If not, please give DPS a call, give the Office of City Management a call. We can try and coordinate with GFL if you're having any trouble. And you'll notice a lot of people have been complaining that they're getting picked up late. They're getting picked up much later than normal. The crews are working until 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Again, it's the short staffing. So if you're used to being picked up at, say 8 o'clock in the morning and it's not happening right away, give it some time. Wait until at least later in the day or the next day to give a call. They also would like us to remind everybody there are times where people are getting missed because they have their cars parked in the street. Very difficult for the trucks to get in there. Other kind of issues that we've had bubbling up lately. I know there's always complaints, especially this time of year, about street sweeping, and we currently have a couple of our sweepers. All of our sweepers actually are not operational at the moment. We're working to get those resolved. We're also trying to find some rental units that we can use to try and accomplish the monthly sweeping, but it is very difficult because they're a very unique piece of equipment. Last little thing, and this is a joyful thing, but as we are returning closer to normal, we were able to hold the first summer concert series event that we've been able to do in almost 2 years. So that was very exciting. From what I understand, it was a fantastic turnout, and we're hoping to keep building that. There's another one this weekend, and I'm sure Councilwoman Tobin will do all sorts of promoting on that later, so I'll leave that to her. But other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions anybody might have.
Your Honor, through the chair,
Yes, sir, go ahead.
since we brought up the concerts in the park, and I will say Thursday night was amazing. Huge crowd and a great time. But I was told there was a problem in the food truck ordinance now that we are not going to be able to use our food trucks at our city ordinance, at our city events. I was under the understanding when we passed the ordinance that those food trucks would fall under city events. So if we have contracted with some vendors, are they going to be able to be at our event? Are they not? And if not, I think the council going to have to do something about that fairly quickly.
Can I expand on that a little bit?
Well,
We shouldn't get into
hold on, let's let James answer that for a second first.
We might need an answer from Ed, too.
Yeah, I was actually going to kick it over to Ed.
Ed, then go ahead. If you,
We might, well, I speak loud enough, but.
well, make sure that it's on.
All right, I presume the mic is on, that you can hear me. If you can't, hold up your hand.
Can you hear the city? Okay, go ahead, sir.
I've given the opinion to the parks individuals that there's an exemption, a built-in exemption in governmental functions. This is a special event, and an ordinance passed subsequent or prior to can't interfere with the right to contract by the community with an individual. So the food trucks will continue throughout the summer.
Thank you. I wanted to be sure of that. I also...
I think the less said, the better.
Okay, also, while I have the floor, I have had a lot of people coming to me asking me about a spring garage sale since the fall one went so well. And I want to bring that up to the city manager and maybe let other council people know that there's this being talked about, since there's no place we can actually do this kind of thing. So I guess this is a proper place to put it. And I want to know what everybody else would be thinking about it, or straw poll or no poll, or however we want to do it. But we need to discuss it so that the public knows that it was discussed.
I think, and I think you misspoke. I think you meant a fall one since the spring one went so well.
Yeah, sorry,
but we can definitely look at some dates that might work, and try and bring something back.
Through the chair?
Yes, you had, but hold on a second. You had,
I got one more.
okay, go ahead.
The speed machine, the speed, I'm not sure what we call it, the speed checker machine, I seen it was in my neighborhood. Has it been over by CCAT, and is it all working?
Looking for the chief here. I do know what they were planning on getting it out today. Don't know if the chief is able to unmute. But we are also looking at some other new equipment for that as well. But I believe they got it out.
Chief Waters, are you able to comment on the radar trailer, the speed enforcement trailer? Okay, apparently not. So,
Can you hear me now?
yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay. I was having some difficulties with the mute button there. Yeah, we had it placed out over the weekend. Put it back out on CCOT today, and we'll just see how things go. We do have another machine that we have on order that'll give us a better idea on true traffic flow. So when we get that, we'll be placing that in different areas also.
Thank you.
Okay. Then I think Maureen was next, then we'll go to Councilwoman Ross. So, Ms. Tobin, go ahead.
I was going to expand on what Mike was saying about the food trucks and the events, but Ed answered that. The only thing I have is we had a little difficult before the show went off on Thursday at the band show, and I talked to John Kazoo. I thought, a generator would resolve this, and he said that we don't have any generators, that they were stolen last time they were put out, and I was just wondering if anything was being looked at or considered to replace generators, because I think that it's something that we should have on hand that could rectify some things, like the power at the band shell going out, that kind of thing. So I was just wondering if you're aware of that, James, and if anything is being done to correct it.
Honestly, that's the first I've heard of it. So,
Okay.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. Councilwoman Ross, go ahead.
Your Honor, I just wanted to touch on the garage sale, since Councilman Higgins brought it up. The request that I received from residents was that they would like it to have Friday included in that garage sale weekend. Now, this is my thought. on having the second one, I would like to still charge the fee and have the money to go to the museum. It's just a thought. I thought I would throw it out there.
Well, I mean, if that would be your idea and you had somebody to go along with it, you just need to do the resolution and then that would bring it to the council floor. If that's how everybody, and then that would generate the conversation.
Through the chair, I'll support that, just so it's on record.
For the chair, Your Honor, for the
Yes.
city manager.
Yes, sir, go
Unless
ahead. Yes, sir,
you
go
got more.
ahead.
Mr. City Manager James, I know I talked to you last week in regards to 2 telephone poles on Riverbank Street that DTE had cut. Do you have an update for me?
I do not. I know that while we were talking about it, I actually got in contact with DTE and they were looking into it. I need to follow up, and I will do so.
All right, thank you very much. That's all, Your Honor.
All righty. Anything further for the city manager?
Yes, through the chair, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if anybody is aware of it, but in Dixon I-75, we have that same problem. If you go down there, we have homeless stuff up underneath the bridge. We have the grass with a big misunderstanding between the county and the state to cut the grass. Half cuts it, half doesn't. And the debris along the entrance and exit ramps on Dix, plus on the side, they got parts of cars and stuff like that. I've been in contact with our rep, Kara Clementi, and also with Mrs. Parker's office, see if we can't get some resolve to who does what and where. It's not our responsibility as a city, and they need to get their act together, and they said they will, but they're going to have a meeting, and I think we need to include who's ever appropriate in the city to have that meeting with when it gets set to resolve this issue, and also an issue about stuff that's dumped in the creek. We have a lot of complaints about that, and that is, again, something either the county does or we do, but there's always this misunderstanding about who does what. In the meantime, nothing gets done, and if you go on I-75 in Dixon, it looks like a trash heap. I mean, the grass is half cut, the stuff is underneath the viaduct, you got homeless people that I seen at one time when I drove through there. That's not how we want to represent the city of Lincoln Park. I mean, that's not what we're all trying to do, and we're trying to do the Comic-Con, and we're trying to do the DDA and all that stuff. So we need to, excuse me, I apologize. We need to get the powers to be and have some kind of resolve that, and I initiated that, but we need to have, when that happens, we need to get some kind of meeting among us or whoever. I sent James a copy of the letter, the request, and it just seems like summer is already upon us, and we have this problem again this year. The next item I'd like to ask is the grass cutting. I've seen that, I guess, U.S. Lawns is behind, so they're cutting, in the weather, but we need to also hear about a lot of complaints about grass cutting the parks and all that stuff. I think there was a complaint about LeBlanc or one of the parks, baseball diamonds that had grass all over the sidewalk. Again, that's not a good image for the city. I mean, we need to look at some of these issues, and I understand, and we all understand what the issues are, but we need to get with our vendors and see if we can't resolve some of these issues. The last item real quick is I know I talked to James, and he was going to try to get a hold of the DPS lady that was going to come in and do the evaluation. James, did she ever get back with you to give a target date when they're going to start this so we can get this going?
Yeah, it'll be the next couple weeks. She's looking at now starting with some on-site observations. So she's trying to figure out exactly when in her travel schedule that's going to be able to fit. She should be out before the end of this month.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Very good, sir. Anything else for the city manager?
Through the chair, there was something I forgot. James, can you give us an update on what's happening at Gregory Park as far as the complaints that we had and the condition of the park?
So, depending on which complaints we're talking about, we did have a significant amount of, we did an increased patrol because we received a number of complaints about homeless during the evening hours. We seem to have been able to quell that problem. There are still some issues, and honestly, all of our parks. All of our parks have some decent issues that just revolve around the long-term maintenance over the last number of years. Over this summer, we're looking at, we're going to remulch. I believe we're going to try and hit all of the parks. And we're going to try and tidy up some of the maintenance issues so that they'll be looking good.
Thank you.
Okay. So anything further for the city manager?
Yes, sir. If I could ask just for a moment, please.
Sure, go ahead.
On the subject of the homeless being in our parks, what are we doing about that? How are we handling that? And are we giving them a place to go or suggesting a place for them?
Not to completely speak for Chief Waters, but I do know that the patrols give information on where the homeless individuals can go. There's only so much we as a city can do, unfortunately. We're talking issues that are systemic and multi-systems that are involved, and there's only so much that one arm of the systems can really accomplish.
Yeah, you're right. It's a definite problem, and it's not just here, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Follow up on that, the officers were making several checks throughout the parks and then reporting back. They were advised at first, and then there were a couple of violations that were issued. But we've received complaints about subjects urinating in front of the publics and then sleeping there. If we're going to make our park safe for our residents to use, then we can't have people living in there. It's just the bottom line. Anything further for city manager? All right, then we have our department head report. We have Carl Malish waiting in the wings. Carl is the Downtown Development Authority Director as well as the Economic Development Corporation Director. So, Carl?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I guess you've had kind of a lengthy, rigorous meeting tonight, so I'm going to try to keep my comments brief. I did want to take this opportunity, though, to give you an update on how your DDA and EDC staff is approaching and trying to fulfill our requirements as a redevelopment-ready community. As timing would have it, I received an email from the RRC program that I forwarded to you earlier today. And the RRC program is going to be having its fall virtual academy to educate city officials, elected, appointed, staff, and otherwise on what the RRC program is all about. And I sent you or forwarded you that email, and your staff is encouraging some participation by perhaps a member or two of the council to take advantage of this opportunity. It's about a 7-week course. It's not 7 full weeks by any means. It's typically a Tuesday evening or a Thursday evening for about an hour. The program that Timmery Shved and I have been involved in over the last few weeks has been running at about 7 p.m. in the evening, and as I said, it goes on for about an hour. The point is, it would really be useful, I think, for a council person or two to engage in that program and get to understand with a little more depth what the RRC program is all about. Now, I want to read just a little bit from an executive summary that was put together towards the end of 2017 that discusses the RRC program and some work that the city began doing in calendar year 2017. First of all, I read, Redevelopment Ready Communities is a certification program supporting community revitalization and the attraction and retention of businesses, entrepreneurs, and talent throughout Michigan. So, this is a partnership between the state of Michigan and localities like the city of Lincoln Park. The RRC promotes communities to be development ready, or redevelopment ready as it were, and competitive in today's economy by actively engaging with stakeholders and proactively planning for the future and making them more attractive for projects that create places where people want to live, work, and invest. So that's kind of the synopsis overview, 10,000-foot overview of the program. And as I said, back in 2017, your downtown development and economic development staff participated in the RRC training program. That was back in March of 2017. And there was a self-evaluation that was completed in 2017. And finally, there was a final report that was prepared to give a status on how ready the city of Lincoln Park was for the redevelopment ready program. It's a best practice program. It covers a variety of topics. It covers planning and public engagement. And by planning, I'm talking about a community's master plan, a community's economic development plan or downtown development plan, capital improvement plan. Public engagement, that is a formula for engaging the public and other stakeholders to be involved in redevelopment decisions made by the council, planning commission, and others in the community. Zoning is a big part of this overall program. It's not good enough to have a new master plan, which we did adopt by the city council at the end of 2019, I believe it was in November. But you also have to have zoning that's in sync with that plan. And as our master plan indicates in the section dealing with implementation, it was highly recommended that our zoning ordinance be given a complete update and rework so that it would be consistent and moving forward with implementing land use decisions so that they're consistent with our master plans. Development review is also an interesting subject. Not only are best practices recommending that a tracking system be in place and accessible to residents, developers, interested parties, and the like, but they also recommend that these systems be highly interactive so that when applications are submitted and fees are paid and different steps in the development process occur, the systems that we have in place are instantly updated so that people can almost get real-time assurance that development procedures are moving forward. There is also a section of best practices dealing with board membership in terms of recruiting and training. It's not good enough to have people on these development bodies just simply there as warm bodies that make a few decisions monthly. It's important that they have background, training, and expertise that they develop so that they can make good, sound decision-making in those areas. Economic development, of course, is the name of the game and the reason why the city should be emulating these best practices in partnership with the state. And that also requires a good marketing strategy. And last but not least, at the end of the rainbow on the redevelopment ready communities, we also can identify priority redevelopment sites that are not only marketed locally, but they're included in a state vault of potential sites for development that's marketed statewide and nationally. So where do things stand today? As I said, there was quite a bit of work done in 2017 to figure out where we stood. At that point in time, it looked like we had about roughly a breakdown of 50-50 percentage-wise that we were implementing good practices or had the material on our website somewhere. We had yet, though, about another 50% of the best practices that had to be completed. Now, in all honesty and candor, there wasn't a whole lot that was completed. There were a couple of significant items that were completed, probably the most important being the update of the city's master plan. As I said, that was accomplished and finished in 2019, November. Along the way, we have also instituted, and it was earlier this year that we started the procedure to have joint meetings among the different development organizations or organizations that have a bearing on development. You participated in the joint meeting with the DDA, the EDC, the Planning Commission, and the other agencies. And much to his credit, Mayor Carnes at that point asked that we continue to meet on a more regular basis than even once a year. And we intend to have our second meeting of this calendar year sometime in the first quarter of the fiscal year that begins on July 1st. So where does everything stand? Right now, here's what we're planning to do. First of all, we have created a steering committee internally that is going to work with different department heads and others that are involved in our development practices to get some of the low-hanging fruit taken care of with respect to the Redevelopment Ready program. We have a lot of work to do to sort out where existing things sit on our website, but they're really kind of jumbled up, and it's kind of looking for the Pope and the pizza, if anybody remembers that little funny from Saturday Night Live. It's a little bit difficult. We've got to straighten a few things out. We would like to merge things to Lincoln Park Redevelopment Ready site so that people that are interested, developers, citizens, and the like, can essentially go to a beginning point of one website page, and at that point find out, just about everything that has to do with Redevelopment Ready. The master plan, the zoning ordinances, fees, a tracking system, so on and so forth. We feel that we can get that low-hanging fruit accomplished by the steering committee working with other department heads and the like within the first quarter of the new fiscal year. So during July, August, and September, we're going to be very busy getting those pieces and parts fixed. When we get this low-hanging fruit accomplished, then I think we'll be in a position to ask the state, specifically Michigan Economic Development Corporation, to give us some financial resources to get our zoning code updated. A few months ago, James Krazan and I got some proposals on, or some prices, say, on updating the zoning code, and they were around $45,000, $50,000, something like that. We've been told by the medic people that run the RRC program that we might be able to get as much as $20,000 or $25,000